What's going on, guys? All right, today is a video that I needed to do like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and sorry about the wind. I can't control that, but I need to do this video a few weeks ago, and I was going on vacation when they sent it to me. I didn't realize there was a time frame, so apologize, Olight. And then Eastern Tennessee and Western North Carolina got just devastated by the floods from Hurricane Helene, and a lot of the bridges were washed out, a lot of roads were washed out and stuff like that. So, and you can see back here, let me turn this around. I still have trees down here. There's a big tree back there, a tree up here. Still have a lot of trees down over here at the range. So I had to modify the range where I use it at just a little bit until we get that cleared out. But I wanted to go over here and make this as quick as possible. What we're talking about today is the Olight Osight. And the Osight is a semi-new offering from Olight, and it's kind of like a pistol dot. You can see right here I have it on this MP5K clone AP5P pistol, and it works with this just as well, but they do offer more screws now. There's a few highlights they want me to hit. They do offer more screws now with this, so some of them are longer, so they will accept different mounting platforms. And they also have a couple of mounts as well for pick mounts. You have this one, which is a 1/3 co-witness, and one thing I liked about this one with this is I can actually co-witness my sights through this mount. Briar got me. Through this mount. They also offer a low profile mount as well, so if you want to set that down, the low profile is just under 1 inch center height, and the 1/3 is just a little over 1.5 inches. Now I want to show you this. These are beefy screws. I mean beefy. I have had other brand of optics, I'm not going to mention names, but I have broke their screws off, torquing them to the spec that they told me to torque them to. Actually, one of them I broke off. I had some more of their optics that I'd used in different, functions on a pistol and didn't need the mount itself, and I broke a couple of the bolts and finally just went out to my local Ace Hardware and bought a bolt and a nut and stuck in there just so I could do the video on it. But these, you are not going to have that issue with these. I want you to see how big these bolts are right there. It's pretty awesome. They also offer these in green and red. Mine is a green dot, and I want to say I've got it turned all the way up. I am looking at bright sun, and I can easily see this dot. Now this is all the way turned up. Let's see if I can actually, sometimes it's hard to get dots in cameras. This one is going to be difficult, apparently. I cannot get that dot to show up in there, but you have to take my word for it. There is no problem seeing this dot at all. I'm actually having to turn it down. Now that's the green. I don't know about the red. Green does show up a little bit better in sunlight. That is one reason I do like green dots a little bit better. I used to say I didn't like green dots because a lot of guns now come with green fiber optics, and I wanted a different contrast on that. But after using green dots more and more in the sunlight, it is just so much easier to see these things in the sunlight than it is red dots. Now, I'm not going to just abuse this dot. One thing, I don't want to destroy this expensive HK clone pistol, but there's been a lot of people that's done tests on these and stuff like that, and anything you can break if you try to break it. I try to use my equipment in normal conditions. If I took a hammer to this, obviously I could probably break this. If I take a hammer to a Trijicon RMR, you're going to be able to break it. So, let's do some tests here that are normal. Let's do accuracy tests, see if it holds accuracy, stuff like that. I will say I've had this thing charged since I got it about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I've not put the charger back on it. Speaking of chargers, the way you charge this is it has a little cover. And it's cool about this little cover. You push this button and you can see that lights up there. It shows you it's almost fully charged. There is a USB port right here. There's an opening here, and on the top there's a metal piece that just slides over, and when you hit that, you can see that the optic is fully charged. And if I take this off, it'll show you that the charger itself is almost fully charged. So you can check both. If you have it on the optic, it's telling you the optic charge. If you take it off, it's telling you the charge of the actual charger case, which is actually pretty cool because it's actually just kind of helps protect it. But I've not had this on it, and you can see it's still fully charged. I've turned it off when it was just sitting in the safe, but it didn't have any kind of parasitic drain or anything like that you may see with some other optics on the market. I have had optics that kind of drain their batteries. This one not so much, but the cool thing about this is you can recharge it. Most other optics, pistol optics on the market, you have to change the batteries, and some of them, such as like the Trijicon RMR we talked about earlier, you actually have to take the optic off of the gun to replace the battery. I hate that. I hate that. I cannot stress that enough. We should be past that, but they're still making them. I know they've got other models, but they still make that model. Discontinue it. It's horrible. Or redesign it where you can put the battery in somewhere else. You should never have to take your optic off in 2024, almost 2025, to replace the battery. But in this case, you don't even have to replace the battery. You just throw a cover on it, which also helps protect the glass. All right, guys. So I've got some suppressor ammo here. This is the first time I've shot actually even the gun, but this is the first time I've actually shot this dot. We're back probably 10 yards, nothing crazy. I'm gonna put a few shots through it, kind of see where the dot is hitting at. I'll tell you if the dot actually leaves the window. I really don't think it will in this. Even the smallest windows might not in like an MP5 style gun, because MP5s and clones just have zero recoil. I mean, they have nothing. So we're gonna put 4 or 5 rounds down range. I'll probably cut the camera off. I'll sight this in. We'll come back, shoot it some more, see what happens. It's shooting a little low, but you notice I don't even have ears on. This thing's quiet enough to shoot even without ears. So let me turn this off. I'm gonna throw up a shoot and see, get it dialed in. I had no problem seeing that sight. That sight was not raising up out of it. There again, these guns really don't have any recoil. But it looks like everything is just in the center. It just needs to move up maybe 3 inches. So it was pretty well centered. Just need to move it up a little. Get that done. I'll be right back. All right, guys, gonna take you down here and show you what we got. My first shot was down here. Pulled one here. Next two was over here. Started walking it up, and then everything else went through here. Pulled that a little left. I pulled it back right, and then I put that other shots right here. This right here is about, I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 shots in that one little hole, but this, as you can see, I'm walking it up, and then everything else got right there other than the one I pulled. Side in really easy. I mean, really easy. It took nothing. I probably sided in at, I don't know, 15, a little further than 15 yards. I'm probably about 20 yards right there. Is where I side that in. I mean, it is a little short MP5 style pistol, so not a big deal there. 20 yards. I'm good with that. I'm not shooting, long range. I wouldn't care to side this thing in probably at like 25 to 30 yards, but something that's got this short a barrel, this is the suppressor. You don't need to side in for 100 yards, because that's not what this little thing's made for. It's made for more close quarter work. Optic, it's just running. It's just running. Like I said, not going to beat it up, but it is working very well. Got some gases in my eyes, but yeah, it's just tearing that target up. The Olight Osight. If you're looking for like a more budget optic, I think this is good. I think with as big as the window is on this, you can see how big that window is. You can compare that to like, look how small the window is on something like a RMR. The RMR is way smaller than this, and I think if you're shooting like some competition, or you're like getting into competitions, or maybe even like home defense, having a big window like this in a stressful situation would be pretty nice. I think that's where this optic's going to shine at in situations like that. Like I said, either competition or home defense. You could most certainly carry this for EDC, and I wouldn't care to do that at all. I think this optic would do fine. I've got tons of Olight lights. I carry Olight every single day. I've never had a single issue with an Olight. I've had issues with other optics, stream lights. I've had issues with all kinds of, or not optics, but lights. I've had issues with all kinds of lights. I've never had one single issue with an Olight, and I have an Olight that I use daily that I've probably owned for, I don't know, probably 10 years-ish. And I've never had a single issue with it. Every time I click it, it comes on. I recharge the battery, throw it back in it, and it just keeps on working. Olight makes good products. I've got some of their knives, and I'm sure this optic is just as good as everything else that they make. Again, one thing I am super impressed with are these screws. Those are so beefy. That right there tells me that they put some thought and effort into this, because, like I said, other companies with their mounts, they usually supply cheap screws. I think I put like 40 inch-pounds on these, no issues at all. I mean, it didn't even mar up the paint on the inside. And I think I put like 18-ish inch-pounds on these up here, and they did perfect as well. Now, guys, I think Olight was having a sale when I was supposed to make this video. And I couldn't, because like I said about the circumstances earlier. But Olight does have a lot of sales, and I'm sure they'll have one coming up at least like on Black Friday where you can pick these things up on sale. But if you want to get one, I'll put a link in the description below which you can click on it and go pick one up now. Or if you'd like to wait and pick one up whenever they go on sale, you can most certainly come back, click that link, and do it again. The clarity of this optic, it is really clear. I really don't see any distortion at all. On like RMRs, they have like a blue haze, but I don't see that in this. I mean, you don't see any distortion at all in this optic. I mean, it's just really crystal clear. When I take it from tree to like off the tree to on the tree, I don't see any like color difference at all between them. This is just really clear. But when I take this RMR and I do that, I get a blue haze. I definitely get a blue haze on that tree versus this, where it's just really crystal clear. Again, you get that huge window and you get the ability to recharge your battery versus you know, potentially having to take the optic off, which is horrible. Again, guys, I appreciate you watching this video. Hope you liked it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, there'll be a link in the description below. You can pick one of these up. Again, sorry to Olight for taking so long to make this video. Had to rush it a little bit just to try to get it out now, because as you can see, I still have damage. But I wanted to not take any longer than I actually had to. We'll continue to test this light. I'll continue to put rounds through it because I really, really enjoy shooting these style pistols and guns, these MP5 style guns. So I'm sure I'll put lots more rounds through this, and I'll continue to test this thing out. And if I have any issues, I'll let you guys know, but I'm sure I won't, because I've never had an issue with an Olight. Again, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.